Hello everyone! Today we're going to learn about lookup functions. So we're going to use this raw data to fill out the summary parts. So let's start with the very classic VLOOKUP. So let's type the VLOOKUP first. And then we wanted to look up the ID code, comma, in this table. So for the table, we're going to lock it with F4, comma, and then we wanted to find the name, right? So name is located into the second column in the table. So we're going to type 2. And then we wanted to find exactly the same ID code in the table. So I'm going to type 0 for the exact match. And then close it, enter. And as usual, Control C and then paste. But as you can see here, error pops up because there is no this 107 ID code in this field. So in this case, let's just put if error in front of a function. So if error. And then if the value is error, let's just say not exist. And then copy and paste. And as you can see here, this does not exist and the rest of value just show the name. Now let's talk about the limitation about the VLOOKUP. So first one, VLOOKUP only looks to the right. So if the name is located into left side of the ID, like this, there's no way to pull out the name. And the second main reason is VLOOKUP only returns the first match. So let me show you the example. So what if we wanted to pull the department using the name? So let's type it, so VLOOKUP, and then we wanted to find the Alice on these two table, comma, and that is located into the second column, the departments again, and then match exactly and enter. And as you can see here, Alice is a sales, but the code is different, right? Because the Alice is duplicated like this, so it only shown the first match. So even if you are looking for the analysis Alice, but it won't help. So even though VLOOKUP is super common and widely used at work, but it still got so much serious limitation. That's why we're going to move on to XLOOKUP, which is flexible upgrade version to fix all these issues. Now, let's look at the XLOOKUP. So this is smarter and more flexible version of VLOOKUP. So it works both left and right. So we're going to see the example. So first of all, let's just type the XLOOKUP over here, XLOOKUP. And then we wanted to find this value in this array. So F4 to fix it. All right. And then we wanted to get return array in the department over here. So F4 to fix it too. And then if is not founded, so it's like a if error. So we wanted to return as not exist. And then type it. And IT, right, comes out. And copy and then paste, right? So as you can see here, no if error needed. And it can be like flexible to use left or right. So this is much more powerful way to pull out all the data. So I kind of recommend to use XLOOKUP than VLOOKUP if you are using the recent version of the Microsoft. Now let's move on to the index match. So this function we normally use when you are handling the two-way lookups. So let's see the example. So we wanted to pull the position. So first, we're going to start with the match. And then we wanted to look up this item, comma, in the lookup array is over here. So F4 to lock it, and comma. And then we wanted to match exactly, so 0, and close it. All right? So it showed a 5, which means, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's located in the 5th row, right? And then we're going to add index over here. So index. So we wanted to check the array first. So array should be this table, the whole table, fixed as F4. And then comma, the row number we already calculated based on the match, right? And then, comma, the column. So position is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like a fourth column. So we're going to type 4, right? And then close it again. And then now we could see the position over here, right? The Alice analyst. So we're going to do the copy and paste. And as you can see, the arrow pops up. So in this case, we're going to put the same thing, if error. And then we're going to just type not exist. Oh, typo, sorry. So not exist. And then paste it. So now we just use the index match. So now we're going to level up. So to pull out the salary from the salary range, we're going to use index and double match. So let's type the index first. And then we are gonna looking some value in this table. So F4 to lock it. And then we're gonna see which row. So we wanted to find the manager position in this array, right? So we're gonna say match. And that lookup value should be manager. And then the lookup array in this one, F4 to lock it. And then the match type should be 0 to exact match for the manager, right? And now we calculate the row number, right? Then this time we're going to calculate the column number over here. So something in between the years of the year of service, their salary range should be different. So in this case, we're going to the same, the match, and then we're going to look up value, this one, the year of service, comma, and the lookup array this time, I'm going to set this area as F4 to lock it. And this time, I'm going to use 1 to less than. Because if it's less than 2 year, automatically it pulls out the 0 to 1 year. And then less than 5, it's going to be 2 to 4. And before 8, so 5 to 7. So less than over here. So put it as a 1 and then close it, and then enter, right? And then Control C and Control V for rest of it, right? So basically this is so powerful when you wanted to use the two criteria at the same time. Now let's move on to HLOOKUP. So in general, your data is listed vertically, but some data is structured horizontally. And in that case, HLOOKUP will be useful. So let's see the example. For the year of service, we're going to use HLOOKUP. So HLOOKUP, type over here. And then we're going to look up the year of service over here. So we're going to lock it with F4. And then the table array will be this as a row data. So F4 to lock it too, and then comma. And then this time we're going to check the row index number, right? So in this case, we're going to use the match. And then for the row info, we're going to look up using the ID code over here. So, comma. And the lookup array should be this array, ID array. So F4 to fix it. And then for the match type, it should be 0 for exact match, right? Okay, and then close it. Then you could see the year of service. So for this one, Control C and then Control V. And then for the error, we're going to also add if error in front of the function. And then we're going to just say, oh, not exist. Not exist. Okay, and then copy and paste. That's it. Now let's go back to VLOOKUP and I'll show you the easier way to handle this. So as you can see the VLOOKUP, we always choose the area for the table array, right? And for the table array, it normally comes with the row data and it doesn't change. So in this case, I'm gonna set this table and then make a name as list over here and enter. And now this table has the name, right? And then let me type the same VLOOKUP over here. So VLOOKUP, I want to find this lookup value, comma, and this time, instead of choose the whole table area, I'll just type list. And then it normally comes with this, right? And comma, and the column of the index number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, comma, and then 0 to exact match, right? So it's much shorter than this one, right? But at the plus, as you can see here, for the column number, I put 6, right? But in the real world data, what if the row data is like 1,000 column? And at the same time, we can account like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this, right? Or you could just drag it and then see the counts. But this is also a little bit lazy to do it. So in this case, I will just do it using the columns function. So columns, and then I'm gonna drag it, the area over here, and close it, enter. And as you can see here, it's automatically calculate which columns they're in, right? So I'm gonna put the if error over here. And then if this error is not exist, like this. And then Control C and Control V, right? So this is easy when you set up the name or using the column function when you use VLOOKUP. So now the data all set. So we're going to finalize using the conditional formatting for the summary field. So choose the area first and then go to the conditional formatting and we're going to make a new rows. So go to the use of formula and then let's type it. So if the name is not exist, and we're going to make it gray and then strike through like this. Okay, all right. And then for this one, we're not gonna use the absolute reference. So click F4 to lock the column only, and then OK. And then now the 107, which does not exist, is crossed out. So if we want to change like 108, also crossed out, or like 103, now it just like automatically change. So this is the lookup function that we learned today, and see you next class.